What's up, man? It's your boy Deante, Kyle, host of the Grits and Eggs podcast, but who's in front of the camera?
Big Ice Cup Cat.
And we are off the porch with Dirty Gloves Guys.
And to God be the glory. Thankful for another day to tell my story. Put my opinions in the universe.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We got Deante, Kyle, and Cat from the Grits and Eggs podcast jumping off the porch with us today. What's good, fellas?
It's all good, bro.
doing?
It's
Yes,
all
sir.
good.
Nah, man, it's definitely a treat when real players meet. So great to have you out here, man.
Yeah, that's what the pen right on top.
You feel me? Hey, man, come on. I'm from Milwaukee, bro. I don't know nothing else. Yeah. You feel me? But nah, man, definitely a pleasure to have you brothers on the platform. You know, y'all been on a rapid rise, even though y'all been putting in work. It's not like y'all just, started the platform, but you guys have definitely been on a great rise with y'all platform, Grits and Eggs, and so I just want to salute y'all.
Man, thank you, bro.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it went up,
Yeah.
It went up and then it just
Yeah.
it keep going, you know
Nah,
what I mean?
for sure,
So,
man. I mean, and to the point to where you guys just got back from New York,
Yes,
where you guys were honored at the what was that event?
The Route 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Route 100 event, where you guys were honored amongst like other platforms, other people of influence.
That was a decent bunch in there.
And let me say, black people of
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
emphasize
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that felt great though because they didn't honor the podcast per se. They honored me specifically.
Word.
And then this motherfucker wanted to go to sleep. So
I had a long day, bro. I had a long day. I said, fuck that. You go ahead and go. You go get New York chic. Hit the New York sheets. I'm going to sleep, brother.
yeah, but it was a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, to meet some of the people that have been like spearheading black media, even whether it be through music or journalism or activism and politics, even athletics. It's like to be among that bunch and to be in that 100 when we know there's so many more out there. It was an honor for real, for sure, man. Shout out to the Route 100.
Word. And for our viewers that don't know, the Route 100, they celebrate the most influential black individuals making significant impacts in the culture, politics, business, activism, and showcasing black excellence. So, to be honored amongst, all of these great people, I mean, I know it had to feel good.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was a different lens that I had to look at it through because a lot of times, those like events will feel like a little snooty. You know what I'm saying? It's like not really my vibe, but like it was very welcoming, and there was an array of people in there, like people from all different type of walks of life. And I got to speak, which was important for me too. I went on stage and spoke, and then got off stage and like Don Lemon, Gayle King, and Jasmine Crockett went up there. I was like, okay, they got me in here with these folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was love though, man. Everybody at the event was like super respectful and kind and like very welcoming to network and things like that. And they didn't feel like that fake networking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those people followed up next day.
Right.
It was real, bro.
Yeah.
I was grateful.
Something that I say on a regular basis, bro, is that I'm so appreciative that I'm blessed to be able to wake up every day and work towards greatness and do what I love to do on a daily basis.
Heck yeah.
How fulfilling is it for you guys to be in that same, playing field and being able to do what you love to do and not having to compromise when you're doing what you're doing?
I think the bigger thing is like, bro, I envisioned this. You know what I'm saying? I used to be in a truck, like, what would it look like? Like if this was before I ever knew that it was gonna be a podcast or anything. I always knew that like I wanted to exist outside of the regular 9 to 5. But when you got kids, you just gotta do your thing, right? Yeah. And luckily I was driving trucks, so I was making money where we had stability. And but I always would envision like, what does my life look like if I wake up on my own time? You know what I'm saying? I go to bed on my own time. Like, what's that routine look like? So like a lot of those things that I've envisioned, I've been able to kind of like accomplish outside of like the one thing that I did say I want to do was like go to the gym every day. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I ain't been doing it. You know what I'm saying? But once I get a little break, I'm gonna implement that part too.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
everything else has just been like, man, you creating your own schedule. I honestly don't realize like how much time you have when you're not spending it on somebody else's clock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for 40 to 60 hours a week to give to somebody else is a significant amount of your life, bro, week to week. And you don't realize how much you can do with it and how successful you could be if you reclaim that time for yourself. But I think the independence of it all and being able to like do something that we love to do and something that's having an actual cultural impact, man, bro, it ain't nothing like it, bro. It's truly a blessing, to be honest, man.
Another thing is too, man, you just gotta be disciplined. Cause you gotta wake up every day cause you work for yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else can tell you what to do. You gotta have that discipline to get up, have that drive to get up every day.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I remember when I got laid off from the last job that I've had, and I've been independent since 2011. So what's that, 14 years now?
Yeah.
And I just remember, in the beginning, like not knowing how to be disciplined with it, because at first I'm like, well, shit, I ain't got to go in, I ain't got to go into work. And luckily for me too, when I got laid off, my phone was ringing the next day, because I was doing digital marketing at Def Jam and I got laid off. And so the next day, my phone was ringing and I was getting clients and I was already like kind of back in motion. But then the discipline part of it, it took me a while to be like, all right, even though I don't have to go into these folks' office, I still need to get up and set a schedule and, do it a certain way. Because a lot of people view entrepreneurship as just truly getting up when you want to and
That ain't even it.
just, you know what I mean? Like I'll work whichever days I want to and all that. When in actuality, you have to be a lot more disciplined than you are working somebody else's job.
Yeah, because everything is set for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be to work at 8 a.m., you get off at 6 p.m. You know what I'm saying? You get this much time to eat, you get this much time to take a break. It's a lot of do's and don'ts. You got to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is like, one thing that I realized that I need to do is actually schedule time off. You know what I'm saying? Because for the I quit my job in April. I've been running and gunning, bro, like nonstop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest thing for me is like the anxiety of not having like a safety net and just it being all you, it kind of feel like you got to take everything. Like I need to take every opportunity. And there is benefits to that, but it also can burn you out really quick. You know what I mean? So I think the biggest thing that I'm going into 2026 with is like actually scheduling time off, like taking time to reset throughout the week, taking days for admin where I just do paperwork, emails, and text stuff, and like really like, it's a business, you know what I'm saying? So like, because it's formulated as a business and a media company, I think just getting a little bit more disciplined about the structural parts of it and like the details, like the little paperwork shit, like the shit that nobody want to deal with. But also that you feel like I feel like you need to deal with it before you hand it off to somebody else, so you know what the expectation is.
No, for sure. And I'll also say along with that, man, you got to make sure that you take out time to actually do things that you enjoy, have fun. I know you got shorties, so making sure that you giving your family that time that they need and that they deserve. Because also what can happen to us in doing what we love to do every day, it's like it don't feel like a job. So we can almost trick ourselves into working just overtime, like you said, until you get burnt out because we doing what we love to do. But then you still need to take that time off and be like, all right, you know what, let me go hoop, or let me make sure I'm giving myself 30 minutes to an hour every morning to work out and get my mind right and get things together, or let me make sure I'm, you know what I mean, going
something
to play pool or whatever.
Bro, that's it. Just something where you can, something where it's not responsibility.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, to your point about like taking time out like with the kids, that'd be the best part too. Like, being able to enjoy time with them where it's like, okay, we make some money, so it's like, it ain't no whole bunch of restrictions around, what we can and can't do, but it's also like, within reason. We ain't gonna blow no check or balling out of control, but we also like, we finna have a good time, bro. And it's gonna be like a quality good time. And I think some of these events and things that I've been to that I've been able to take my children to, it's like core memories for them. You know what I mean? Like my daughter was just on the stage at the Mona Leo concert. You know what I'm saying? And she had her own, cause we was hosting, she had her own little 5-minute set too, where she got to like do one of her dance routines to her favorite song and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's like, they gave us the 30 minutes on stage. They was like, do your thing. And I knew I wanted to bring her up there cause she big Mona Leo fan for one. And then she loved that type of energy and attention. Like she's a performer naturally. So like, and even like some of the STEM events or like give back programs that I've been to, I take my sons to, it kind of opened their mind up and changed their perspective on things too. So even when you can kind of like, the fun thing is how you can kind of integrate work into like family time and quality time too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, like I was saying earlier, even though you guys have had a rapid rise in terms of, success of the platform, like you're not new to this. You've been doing content for a while. You mentioned starting out in your truck, and how I first got wind of you, and it was so funny, bro, was when you did you did like a review on the Baby Boy movie.
Oh yeah.
And bro, I remember like seeing that, and that was my first time ever tapping in with you, and it was just so funny to me because he was like, man, Jody was a glorified bum. Like, bro, if you look at
he was real though.
you know what I'm saying? But
a lot of Jodys out here, you know what
man, it's a lot of them for real. A lot of what they call them homeless.
Homeless sexual.
Yeah,
homosexual.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Sure. And so, but you've always been just giving your view, your unfiltered view on, things that might be popular to us within pop culture, or, just things that's going on within the culture, or within, or just in life. I don't want to just say the culture. How did you even come up with the idea to start giving your opinion, and that your opinion could even be something that people actually want to hear?
Okay, so I would say this: my children's mom, like Deante, she have heard podcast upon podcast before I had a podcast. Like, she have taken hours of me just like channeling my thoughts out there in space, and she been one of my biggest advocates in everything I do in life. You know what I mean? So I remember one day we was just having like a real deep conversation about like the housing crisis and like how the structural system has moved the goalposts behind, like, of success. Every time like we play by the rules and like we meet the criteria and we feel like, okay, now I should have success, they move it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a pit of like real frustration. And she was like, man, you be on TikTok like watching these folks say this shit. Ain't nobody gonna say it like you saying it. Just get on there and make the video. So she one of the first people that really kind of gave me that push to just put my content and myself out there. And then I would say after that, like one of the first videos that she encouraged me to do went viral. And after that, it was just like, well, shit, I got a whole bunch of ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of perspectives. After that, you just got to trust your brain.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I will wake up with a thought and it's like, all right, let me flesh this thought out over the next hour while I'm getting my day started. All right, I got the 3 minutes that I can condense this down to 3 minutes. All right, boom, put that out there. And like, as it just kept going, things happen in the world, things trend on social media, and you just kind of like, one of the easiest things to do as far as like kind of riding virality is to just give a fresh perspective on what's trending. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times people are reacting to like the surface of it. I always try to think about the deeper mechanics of things and like what's really going on, and not like just what you see. Yeah. And I think that's been my saving grace on a lot of spaces, but also like the thing that people really enjoy about me is like I'm never giving that surface level just quick. I don't care about being first. I don't care about just reacting to things. It's like, what's really going on here? What are we really looking at? Yeah. And like, how does this affect us in like on a psychological level? And what's the impact this is gonna have socially? And then we just go from there.
Wow. And Kat, were you guys just regularly having like these types of conversations, debates, things like that? Like,
yeah, it's just conversations that we have amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's just things that we always talked about, even as like when we was younger in the 20s and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was real woke back in the day. You know, so
Overly woke.
yeah, overly
I
woke
was
back in the day.
overly
Yeah,
woke.
yeah.
I messed the party up, bro.
But yeah, it's just conversations that we've been having. And you know, he used to rap, so I think the way his mind works, he always he want to spit out information. You know what I'm saying? So the podcast is a way for him to spit out information without him actually having to go into a booth. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I think even the way that you guys have, like the way that your podcast is set up, like you're front facing, but then his perspective is always, you know, in the conversation. So you know what I mean? And you guys are able to bounce off of each other really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that just comes from friendship and like chemistry, bro. I'm telling you, when I was on the road, I would say we knew each other all these years, but when I went on the road like 5, 6 years ago, that's when we really got to know each other because we would be on the phone for hours. Because it's like our jobs was like things you could do while you talk.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, bro, like, you know, it's the life storytelling. You know, we getting to know each other from shorties. Like, nigga, I'm telling you shit that happened when I was 7, 8 years old because it's like you just getting to know a person in a real way. And I think also like these concepts and ideas would be things like, man, I've been thinking about this. This is before I'm making content too. It's like, bro, this is just something that's on my mind. And then we'll go over that. Bro, you look up, it's been 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so it's like not only a thing of like chemistry, but trust too. Like, you know, I know I can trust this man with my thoughts and opinions. And I know it's not rooted in something where it's everything got to be a debate. Because there done been plenty of times where we done had a conversation and I'm like, so what you think? He be like, shit, you said it.
You said it.
He was like, you covered all the bases. You know what I'm saying? So I think even on the show, how he's behind the camera, it came about just like out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? So like you know how the cannons, they don't have like the full extended play. So or they're not continuous shots. So reset every 12 minutes. Well, we only had enough for like an A and a B cam. So he just been biting there resetting, but we just talking the whole time anyway, naturally. And then it's just like, it became an aesthetic where people was like, man, who is that behind the camera? So the mystique of it all became like, okay, this big cat, but who's like I'm Deante, but who's behind the camera? And it's like, it just became a thing. And I think the mystique of it is also like very intriguing for people. So like now when they get to see him with me everywhere we go now, because everywhere I go, he would be with me, you know what I'm saying? And I think it also kind of add a little bit more texture to it because it's like, oh, he is a real person. Oh, he actually a big ass nigga.
Right. No, for sure. Because I mean, on that tip, that was, you know, me getting to meet you. I'm like, oh, this bruh. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always hearing you behind the camera, but you're not even tripping about being front facing or you know what I mean?
Because it's like, I treat it like, I always say, this is his baby. I'm just the uncle. You know what I'm saying? So we have to treat it like that's his baby, but I'm the cool uncle. But whatever he say, whatever he want to do, I'ma rock with it. But I'm also help take care of this baby too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's also my responsibility, but it's his dream. It's where he cultivated. You know what I'm saying? So I just rock with him like that. That's my dog. So I'm gonna just rock with him, and whatever he want to do, we go do it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, Deante, was it difficult for you starting out as a rapper, starting out as an artist, to make this transition into media, into, you know, speaking your mind and doing this? Like, how did you come to terms with, okay, I'm not gonna be an artist anymore, I'm about to pivot and really, you know, go in this line?
So it was something I was talking about. Like we had dropped this series of mixtapes called Coffee and Cigarettes. And I like, anytime, bro, honestly, anytime I say we, I really just be meaning me. But I know that this shit don't be a one person thing. And so like my natural way is like, I'm thinking about everybody that's involved, right? So it was me and this producer named St. Geronimo, and we just collabed. He produced all of them, and we just kind of tailored the whole tapes to this like idea and concept, because I smoke cigarettes and I drink coffee, like that's my shit. But it's also like conversational. There's a film that came out in like the mid 80s that was like all in black and white. It's called Coffee and Cigarettes. And the whole film is just a conversation. And like, it's like my love for dialogue. I was like, oh, this shit hard, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, these ain't no niggas, these some white folks in New York. Like, I wanna make some shit for niggas down south. And yeah, the shit started creating like a little buzz for me because I was doing these freestyles on Instagram. And I was like, man, this shit it's doing something, but it ain't doing nothing for real. Like, it's the same bunch of folks. Like, how do I break into the situation? And a lot of them people was like, you need to make something with hooks. Like, you just want to rap over the beat. You just want to get a beat and kill the beat. And then it's like, people can't do nothing with that. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like 07, 08. You ain't Lil Wayne, nigga. You gotta goddamn make a song. You feel me?
Can't be lyrical miracle.
You on me. You feel me? And so we had recorded this project, and we did it all in one day, bro. Like, I had curated the project over the course of like 6 to 8 weeks, and I ain't write nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I was in the truck just like going over the lyrics, woody woo whoop. And then when we had it finalized, it was done. What was done is done. It was like 12 songs. We recorded all 12 songs in one day. And everybody in the room, like the energy in the room was so crazy because they were like, bro, this is the one, bro. Like, everything you did before is obsolete to this. Like, this is your best shit ever. And I think I felt the same way though. And we left and we was waiting to get like the stems back from the shit, and we ain't never get the shit back. And so I'm calling the engineer. I'm like, yeah, when you gonna send the tracks over and shit? He like, oh yeah, just give me a few days. I'm like, okay, cool. A few days go by. I'm like, man, what's up, bro? Like, and then niggas is fiending. Niggas that was in the booth, they like, bro, we need to hear them sounds. Like, that shit. Call this nigga. I'm like, bro, where the sounds at, bro? He like, man, my computer crashed, bro. I lost everything, bro. I just ain't want to tell you.
Oh, man.
And I called Big Cat and I told him what happened. I said, bro, I'll never rap again, bro. I'm done. That was it.
True story.
And I was like, so then I ain't know what I was gonna do, but I did tell these niggas prior, like, bro, I'm gonna get popping on TikTok, cause I was seeing like niggas were doing their rap shit on TikTok and blowing up. So I was telling niggas like, I'm gonna get popping on this TikTok shit. So I was already doing freestyles and shit on TikTok that was kind of like creating a little buzz and woody woo woo. Like, some of them had went like semi-viral, well, not crazy, but semi, like a 50 ball, 100 ball, whatever like that. And I was like, you know what, bro? Fuck that rapping shit. Like, I'm not rapping no more. I'm just finna pop my shit on TikTok, like what I like to talk about in the studio and shit like this. Cause a lot of these conversations, bro, in between songs, this the same shit I do. Like, what the podcast is, that's what I be doing in the studio. And I can see niggas like eyes glazing over, like, damn, bro, this nigga made everything so deep, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But what I was really talking about was like ownership and entrepreneurship and like the power of independence and, you know, whoop whoop whoop, and us working together and creating a team instead of being individualistic. And niggas just weren't feeling that shit, bro. Like, they just weren't feeling it. So when I started getting it online and then it started going viral, then this is when you get the same nigga like, bro, this the shit you used to stay in the studio. Like, bro, you used to come to the studio. I'm like, bro, I'm done rapping. I'm never rapping again. So I think about a year into just creating content, I told Big Cat, I was like, I'm gonna start the podcast. And I'm gonna do it in the truck. Like, I'm gonna just start that bitch. But when I move back to Georgia, we're gonna get a studio, we're gonna build the shit out, and then we're gonna do the whole shit. And I was gonna do it solo. It's just like, this bro just supportive. Like, I know I could just tell him whatever. But when I found that camera situation, I was like, bro, just come hit the button. And like, off to the races. But like, I was dedicated. Like, after that shit happened, I was like, I'll never rap again. I haven't rapped since.
Wow.
I might do a little 1-2 every now and then. And of course, niggas want me to rap now. But like, yeah, I'm off that, bro. Like, I feel like also rap music is cool, but as far as what I got to say is very restrictive. Or it's gonna come off preachy, you know what I'm saying? So then it's like, you gotta pick and choose. Do you go for the bars or do you go for the message? And I think the best thing to do, like, really is go for the bars. Niggas don't wanna hear that shit.
And it's crazy because people are saying that rap music isn't really even generating money for folks. A lot of people are rapping so that they can then be these personalities and do podcasts or you know, host events or get into acting, you know, things like that. So
yeah, we beat them to the punch, for sure. But I think also this is the thing that people don't understand is like, this is a launch pad as well, but this is not what we got into it for. Like, I honestly wanted to cultivate narratives and conversations that wasn't being had. Like, if we're gonna talk about culture and we're gonna talk about pop culture, we gotta be honest about what our conditions is and like what our neighborhoods really deal with and go through, and also like the things that have happened to our neighborhoods in the past and how we still deal with those things. And you know, the effects that they have on us now and how we deal with each other. So I'm not really interested in like some quick get to the point, let's change the world in 16 bars. That just ain't how that shit happen.
Yeah.
But I think through these conversations, it sparked other conversations.
Yeah.
And intelligent conversations at that, which is the most important thing to me.
Nah, for sure. A couple of topics that you've spoken about. One that was really interesting to me was how you were saying it seemed like there was like a ploy to get black folks to stop buying houses. You know, where it seemed like, okay, folks are telling us to stop buying these single family houses. Then next thing you know, these big corporations are now buying all the single family houses.
Correct.
You know, things like that.
Yeah, so like people so it's data out there that show like how BlackRock has bought up a significant amount of single family homes in the wake of all of these money gurus, investment gurus, crypto gurus saying that a single family home is a bad investment. Now, the thing is like when you get people like Grant Cardone saying, oh, you should rent, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be permanent anywhere. You want to be able to move around. And when you get people like, and you know, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, they do a lot of good work, but they have also been proponents of saying, like a single family home is a bad investment and that everything has to be a flip. But like, what about being fixed? What about stability?
Right.
What about your fucking children?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you buy a house in a neighborhood, your children get to grow up in that neighborhood with these same folks. Like that builds strong, long-lasting relationships.
Yeah.
All that renting and bouncing around is why motherfuckers don't have no stability. And now motherfuckers is forced to rent because they can't afford the homes because these big corporations done bought up on the homes. And we know in the Atlanta area, it's like 3 conglomerates that own all the homes and rent them out at the same price. So Invitation Homes is one of them, and then there's 2 other ones. But I know I rent from Invitation Homes. You see what I'm saying? Because the listings that they have is way out of the price range of the average working person. And then not to mention in Atlanta and surrounding areas, if you're born poor, there's only a 4% chance that you'll extend from that class. So all of these things are culminating towards the same goal, is that you'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
And so when you get into the gig economy of now we relying on everyday people to transport us everywhere we go, and they getting paid shit wages. Right. Now we done turned the average person into a delivery food driver, and it's supposed to be this thing of you make your own schedule, but they ain't making no fucking money.
Right.
So the thing is like they've broken down the fabric of certain structures that was keeping things going, and they've convinced people through propaganda that like this is the way.
Yeah.
And when you get all these different people who have influence, like parroting the same messages, it make it seem like the message is legit. And so then you take your mind off of home ownership. And by the time you start by the time you come up out that fog and realize like, hold on, like I can't keep moving my kids around every year. I can't keep extending the lease and then get overcharged for rent every year.
Right.
So by the time you come out that fog, shit, they done bought everything.
Yeah, nah, for
and
sure.
they got billions of dollars. You understand what I'm saying? So if the average home is, let's just say they can get it off the market for $250. If it's $400, they could probably, because let's depending on who these homes are owned by or what the owner's situation is, right? Let's say they got issues with their roof. Let's say they got foundational issues and all these structural issues that they may not have the capital to fix and they don't want to refinance on the home. Then okay, yeah, your house worth $400,000. I give you $250 cash right now. Most people gonna take the $250 cash because they can go and rent.
Right.
And not have to worry about maintenance and nothing like that. But they can also like, okay, I'll just rent here for 10 years. And oftentimes like your rent might start out at one space and by the time you paying an extra $1,000, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think the thing is like, these is always like things that are happening all at once, right? And it feel like it's separate issues, but they're all like conjoined in one way or the other. And I just wanted motherfuckers to be like mindful of that because every person that parrot these same talking points, they doing it simultaneously. Why? Nigga, y'all ain't that profound, bro. Somebody gave you a script. Because you ain't interested in single family homes for a single family, but these corporations is definitely interested in it, and they can renovate it and slap some paint on it and then charge you double what the fuck it's really worth.
Yeah.
And you ain't got no choice but to comply because you don't control the market.
Right.
And the people that control the majority of the market own the majority of the home. So then we fuck, you know what I'm saying? And now they can rent it out to you for an outrageous price, and it creates a certain baseline of income for this city. So that's how you get gentrification happening.
Right.
I'm pushing all these people out, and they're gonna go to these surrounding areas, and over the course of the crack epidemic, the property value is continually dropping down. City don't put funds into trash pickup in areas that are low income, but they will put trash pickup in Sandy Springs. They'll have the probationers go out there and pick up shit where the white folk live and keep their property value high while our property value continue to dwindle. So the same $250,000 house I'm talking about now probably costs 60, because it ain't worth shit, because ain't shit around it.
Right.
That's how they come get you. So then when they come price you out your shit, even renting ain't affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people too don't understand that. Like I believe in owning a home, and that like you have to have assets. And all these financial people, they talk about assets, but then they'll sell you this certain type of narrative that'll make you not pick up certain assets. And what people don't understand now is that if you buy a home, that could literally be like for your retirement. You could either sell that home or refinance it, and by the time it raises in value, you could either refinance and get a nice lump sum of money and have some money for retirement, or sell your home and then move somewhere else when it comes time for retirement. Like, people don't understand too that a home can be like a...
It's one of the biggest assets you can have, because it's land, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you own this plot of land, so to speak. Now, we know in the U.S. government, you don't really technically own anything, you know what I'm saying? If you still gotta pay taxes on it, then you know what I'm saying? If the tax man is gonna get your shit, it really ain't owned. But it's owned in the situation that is fixed. Yeah. And it's an asset that can go into a portfolio, into a trust that you can pass down to your children. You can get re-audited, like you said, refinanced. And they might audit your shit, and the same $250 that it was going for is now going for $400. Yeah. Or the same $400 it was going for is now going for $750. And that amount of like profit that you done made off that home can go into your retirement, can go into paying for your kids' college. Yeah. You can go into a multitude of things. It can make you money.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
That's the issue that I have with these niggas, bro. Yeah. Because this the thing, they telling you don't own but to rent. But what else is they telling you? Oh, I got a 16 house unit right here. Oh, they want you to rent from them.
Right. Right.
They don't want so they do own homes, but they flip them bitches and rent them out to you. So it's cool. So and the thing is like we not thinking long term, and then we also are eradicating all community if motherfuckers don't own nothing. If you don't own that, there ain't no community. Because every year it's like y'all swapping out. This shit is a big temp service. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, it's like I always look at like the person that's pushing it and what else they push. Right, so if you pushing non-ownership and rental, and then you also want to show me your 60-unit property that you renting out to people, well, you know what I'm saying?
Playing the game.
Yeah. That's just a game, you know what I'm saying? I tell a nigga quick, oh, crack is cheaper. You should stop doing cocaine because crack is cheaper. I also sell crack.
Yeah, right. and I got it.
And it's on me right now too. Yeah. You know, give it a try. Yeah. And then now you're on the hook, and you'll never own anything because. The thing is like wage theft is a very big thing in America right now. It's a multitude of things happening at once that's all geared towards the same thing and want to keep people poor and keep people out of a competitive market, right? So selling your grandma a house seemed like a good idea for the now, but when you fuck up the money or you go on down the line, it ain't nowhere for you to go back to. Yeah. You can't go back to granny house and stay there for 6 months and get your shit together because you done sold the shit. Yeah. And you know, like living off of $500,000, $750,000, that's just not feasible in this country. You can't live off that the rest of your life. And you have to invest it if you do want to live off of it, and investments can go belly up. Yeah. So it's better to have the stable thing and the secure thing. And for me, my thing is towards home ownership is like, okay, let's just say my child don't want to go across the country and go to school. They got somewhere they can lay their head and still go to school and do their thing. If they want to go to trade school, they can still do their thing. If they want to try entrepreneurship, they ain't got to worry about jumping all the way out the gate and getting all these bills. They got somewhere they can live. Right. And I think that's the most important thing is like you creating a generational shelter for people that's coming after you. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is like, when I eventually do purchase a home and I put that bitch in the trust, the part of the trust is that it can't be sold. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's a big disrespect to the elders too, man. Grandpa done did all this hard work for this house and worked mad hours for this house. they pass away, leave you the house, and you go sell the house because you want some quick money.
Yeah.
You ain't thinking about the long term effect of it. I just feel like that's mad disrespectful. All you gotta do is pay the taxes on the house.
Right.
You know, people don't want to do that. They'd rather sell the house, get some money, then run out of the money. Like, oh, damn, what we gonna do now?
Yeah, it's almost like the
crazy.
idea of Granny's house is like over.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, because everybody just like, people are desperate, bro. But like the thing is like desperation it can cause displacement, and that's what a lot of people are suffering with. So, you know, like Big Cat said, you don't know, these people wasn't like millionaires and billionaires, bro. They was working regular jobs and maintaining and paying off these homes because they had it in mind that like somebody gonna need this besides me one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my granny, bro.
Yeah.
Because I needed my granny in a time where I got in a car accident and I couldn't work. And so I moved in with her. If she would have sold her house or did some like shit for some quick money, the only thing she ever did was refinance and renovate. Now she done raised the property value on her shit. And in the same time, she's buying plots of land in certain places and stuff too that she can leave to the family.
Yeah.
And I think the bigger thing is like they think about the generations that come after them. And we are very concerned with our generation right now. And I think it's all based on social media. You know, our concept of time is like warped.
Yeah.
Our concept of how time passes and what comes after us is warped. Hip hop and just like pop culture in general is geared towards youth, which also makes it where it infantilizes adults and niggas want to stay young forever.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay young forever, you ain't doing grown up shit.
Right.
Buying a house, that's some grown up shit.
Yeah.
That's not something to flex, that's some real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, like remember DMX and Belly, he was like, shorty can't eat no books. He was like, shorty can't eat no shoes either, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, let's buy something that they can actually like eat off of. Like, niggas got all the drip in the world, ain't got no assets.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this a lot lately, where we put materialism over assets.
For sure.
And like, the asset is the thing that's long standing. That's the generational shit.
Yeah.
Niggas always talk about generational wealth, but then when it comes to this monochrome print, like Louis V all over their fucking body, like, bruh, you gonna have to settle down.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And that leads us into the next thing I want to talk about, which was your episode about overconsumption.
For sure.
That I was really feeling. Because, like you said, so many of us live in the now that we not looking at the future and what's needed for then and not even planning for that. A lot of people like, well, shit, I might die tomorrow, so just let me just...
Yeah, and that's some goofy shit.
Dumb way to think.
And what the thing is like you already putting your life, like you ending your life. Like your words is powerful. So this whole mentality, this is what I'm talking about. Like our culture has been bought. Like hip hop is very corporate, which means the messaging is corporate. And then it's a twofold situation where a lot of the people that own record labels also are invested in prisons.
Oh, yeah.
So then the messaging, it's a cycle, you know what I'm saying? The messaging will land you in prison, and then they're gonna make money off you both ways.
Yeah.
And they also think about these people that don't have a vision for their future. They thinking about the right now.
Right.
So you turn 25, and what's the nigga caption? Oh, I wasn't even supposed to make it to 25. Like, why, bro?
Right.
Why? Because niggas told you that? First of all, this ain't the 90s, bro.
Right.
This ain't the 90s, bro. You ain't in no war zone like that. You in a war zone you created.
Yeah.
You beefing with niggas off of your own creation. Or you beefing with niggas by some shit you inherited from some older niggas that don't know no better to tell you to let it go.
Yeah.
And the thing is like this obsession with like dying young, it puts people in a position where they don't think about what they need to leave behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the only thing niggas leave behind is kids. And then, but there's nothing to provide with those kids, and like, you don't want to be the nigga that's fly as fuck, but it's a fish fry for your funeral. Like, why you don't got no life insurance? So like,
Why it's taking so long to get your headstone or
anything, bro? You know what I'm saying? So like, my thing is this: is like my whole point of 2026 is like really take a tally of like what you spending that you don't need. What are you spending on clothes that you only wore once?
Yeah.
And you feel like you can't wear it again because niggas see you on the ground with it. And like, a lot of times it's gonna be a situation where, okay, you could have spent, if you spent 5 racks on clothes this month, how much gold could you have bought? And then also like, why is you scared to repeat outfit, bro? Fuck them people,
Yeah,
bro.
for
Don't nobody
real.
give a fuck what they think. Bro, the only, either niggas is bought into your personality or they bought into your shell. If you done sold your shell to niggas, then you kind of gotta live like that. Niggas don't fuck with me because of how I look.
Right.
Niggas fuck with me because of how I think and what I say.
Yeah.
And if we had more people focused on their mind instead of their goddamn materials, then we'll be a lot further, and we can also kill this whole aesthetic of like whatever Instagram or all this shit is that's keeping us like on a loop of, like, you know, the same, it's niggas out here that done spent a 30 ball, a 40 ball, 50 ball on clothes every year and don't own a home.
Yeah.
That's a down payment on a home.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. Okay, if you in the entertainment business, you know, wardrobe can be tax deductible, right? A lot of niggas don't even know that.
Right.
So if you buying stuff to wear on your show, if you buying stuff to wear to your concert, if you buying stuff to wear to an event, tax deducted, then whatever you receive in tax benefits off of that, put that shit up, bro. Like, well, niggas gotta start putting that bread up in a real way.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, we have too much information to not implement the information. We know niggas don't stay on fire forever. You know what I'm saying? And every year, every 5 to 10 years, people have to rebrand their entire shit in order to stay in tune with the culture.
Yeah.
We seen 2 Chainz do this several times. We seen Snoop Dogg do this hella times. We done seen a lot of people have to rebrand, and most of the times the rebrand is for marketing. Most of the times the rebrand is, okay, now I sell Corona.
Yeah.
Like, I started out selling Schlitz malt liquor, I done rebranded, now I'm more upscale, I sell Corona now.
Yeah.
And now I sell IPA now. And it's like, because whatever you endorse, you sell.
Nah, for
You know what I'm saying? So I think the bigger thing for me is like, okay, 2026 is gonna be our year where we probably make the most money we ever made in our life. But what we gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Am I gonna fall victim to this whole materialism and just want to look good so I can feel good? Or I'm gonna say, well, guess what? Shit, they ain't buying in because of how I look. Shit, we put that shit up.
Put that shit in the safe.
Put it in the safe, bro.
So-
Put that shit in the safe and figure out how to invest in it, what you gonna do with it, but investing in a real way. Like, I think a lot of things is like, we wanna take care of the community. You could be philanthropic and give back to the community, but like, if you don't have yourself centered and square, it's not really nothing you could do for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you're gonna need that community care, and that's where a lot of us get butthurt at, where it's like, we feel like we done did so much for people, and then we need something for ourselves, ain't nobody there. So I think the best practice is, while you do got the people on your mind, substantiate yourself.
Yeah.
Get concrete somewhere, so that like, no matter what happened out there, you got somewhere to go back to.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the idea of always being able to depend on each other is the thing where we don't feel like we can depend on ourselves.
Yeah, no, for sure. Always looking for somebody else to be able to hold us down or be able to, like you said, like take care of the block or
It's time to set a new example, bro.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, there ain't no more Frank Lucases and Frank Matthews coming. That's over.
Yeah.
We live in a surveillance state.
Yeah.
So it ain't no drugs being sold. And not to that level where it's like niggas don't know about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then also, the thing is like, we should aspire to something better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think athletics and entertainment is cool. I think having our children aspire to be in STEM, aspire to be in trades, aspire to be engineers and doctors, I think that's a bigger play, because that's a stability that they can have for the next 30 years and something that they'll love and enjoy doing, but also is very lucrative as well.
Is there ever a time where you guys are filming and bruh is saying something and you behind the camera like, yo, we about to get canceled, man? Like,
Nah, not for real. Because I know his message, what he's putting out is the truth.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that really rock with him. And there's people who don't rock with him. Even when he said the thing about Jesus being in the way, I wasn't like, oh, shit, we'll get canceled for this. It's a lot of people who feel that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people who feel like, you know, Christianity itself is a bad thing for black people. You know what I mean? Because when Christ died, when Christ was alive, he didn't say be Christians. He just said, live how I live.
Right.
You know, follow my example, follow my lead.
Right.
And you will get to the Father. So a lot of people, I don't worry about people canceling them or we go get canceled. I don't worry about that at all. Because I know what he's saying is the truth. And I back him 100%. Now, there has been times when he said some bullshit. I said, yo, we not putting this shit out. We definitely not putting this out. And then we'll come back the next day, he'll hit a home run, man, and that clip go viral. That show go viral. So, yeah. There's been times where I stopped the whole production, like, man, we ain't doing this shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This ain't even what you put out. Because it's been times he's been lazy. Like, man, and I know he's lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, we at a level now well, you can't get lazy now.
Yeah.
You gotta do it now.
Got to.
Yeah, so
Nah, for sure.
yeah, I always hold him accountable for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he and being, that's my dog. He always respect that. It could have been times where he said, "Nah, man, I want to put it out," but he trusts my vision of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And he'll always say after each show, "How I do? Do I do good?" I'm like, "Man, you did. You killed it, like you always do.
Yeah.
Stop living in your head. You good." But you know, as a perfectionist, you go live in your head.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I think when you and when you're in it, when you actually speaking and you're in it, it's hard to step outside of it and know how you did until you watch it back or get feedback.
It's really the reception, bro. You gotta trust that.
Yeah.
Because like even when we do shows, bro, like I don't know what that show hitting for. All I know is I'm up there doing my shit.
Yeah.
I can't react to it. I'm not experiencing it. I'm giving the experience.
Yeah.
So it really is like incumbent on the people and for like someone like him that I trust. Because if I was on bullshit, he would tell me. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't kill it, he would be like, he wouldn't even say you didn't kill it. He would be like, you should have did this. You could have did this better.
Yeah.
You know, like early on in the interview process, I was very mindful of not talking over people, but like I would still do it because of like excitement, like just interject. And it's like, nah, and he's like, bro, you just gotta let people cook. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to learn somewhere to put those thoughts.
Yep.
And you can bring them back up. And he was like, sometimes you can't bring them back up. Sometimes the moment passed, and that's okay too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it's more important to let the people get their shit off because that's why they came to sit down with you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. How was it having a sold out show in New York? Y'all did a show in Brooklyn.
Amazing. Standing ovation at the end, man. The people really rock with us, man. And New York is a tough crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so they don't show it. They don't do a lot of glazing, as the youth would say.
Nah, that's an anti-glaze city, bro. They not finna like, bro, anywhere else we did like meet and greets and stuff, people be like hella giddy. Like when they see us, they be like, oh my God, woo. In New York, like we pulled up, niggas was like,
what's up? They was in line, they was waiting.
They was in line, they wanted to take the picture, but they also was like, we chilling, bro, you got it.
We here for y'all, that's what's up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for pulling up. Like really, I was like, damn. I was like, and even like sometimes like when we was doing a pre-show, and the meet and greet, you know, some of the jokes and woo. I'm like, I could see niggas like, like, but it's like, what the fuck? But when we got in the room in the actual show, totally different vibe. They was like, this is why we here, you know what I'm saying? Now it was like, and they're very enthusiastic crowd, but they also will let you know like, hey man, we ain't fucking with this, we is fucking with that. So like the fact that we didn't have any like pushback. Everything was just love, bro. They poured into us in a real way. That standing ovation at the end really fucked me up though. Like it was like, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like that. You can't really bottle that up and sell it, but you can't pay for it either. So it's like one of those things where it's just you just appreciate the experience and you just live in that moment. You know.
And why the name Grits and Eggs?
Oh yeah, man. You know, this is touching on the Southern roots. I always try to touch to the Southern roots, bro. I love being from the South. I don't think I never want to live nowhere else in the world but down here. And it come from like this thing of childhood I talk about often where I gained my autonomy around 11 years old. When my folks split up, instead of my mom staying, my dad stayed and my mom went to go get right in Atlanta. So I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina. So, yeah, man, my pops was just like, look, bro, this is what I got for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're hungry, you can make you some grits and eggs. That's always gonna be in there. And then a few times out the week, you know what I'm saying, I'll put a pot of spaghetti out and y'all eat out that. Yeah. Other than that, bro, y'all on type shit, because I gotta work these 3 jobs. And I just had so much autonomy, bro. Like, I could really make, the same way that I'm living now is how I was living then. Like, I ain't have to do nothing I ain't wanna do.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of a place where it's like, this is where, like, that radical thought started processing. This is where, like, my outspokenness started. Because my mom is a very, like, strict, I would say authoritarian person. So, yo, like, opinions, it can be viewed as disrespect if it's not in alignment with her opinion. She a very my way or the highway. So I had to bite my tongue a lot around her. And my dad, he a little bit more loosey, like, you know what I'm saying? He like, you know, express yourself, say what you got to say, just don't be disrespectful. And that's where I got my voice from. Like I really, you know, I feel like my mom and my grandma really instilled the education in me to know how to speak and what rooms, like how to adjust in certain rooms and you know what language is applicable to this room versus that one versus when you outside just with the homies. Having a like vast vocabulary was very important to my folks. So the grits and eggs came from like this was my meal, bro. This was my go-to. Like this what I'm eating every day. But this also like my independence too. And then so it's like, and it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's marketable, but it's also very southern. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't put no sugar in our grits.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that one. So I think it was a combination of things. I wanted it to be personal for me. You know what I mean? And I think as personal it get is like that time in my life, that from 11 to 14, where I was just like, really just like doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do, but I had to learn how to adjust to like do the right thing on my own. I had to make that decision for myself.
And everybody can't make good grits.
For sure.
Like,
and I'm fire making grits. You hear me? Like my grits game is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We've been doing this a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Like some folks be making them runny grits or
we ain't doing that, man. My shit like velvet. You hear what I mean?
So would you say that was the point where you jumped off the porch?
For sure. 11 years old. Yeah.
Right. Big Cat, when you jump off the porch?
Oh man, I jumped off the porch probably around 7 to 8, man. Pops went to prison, so I had to kind of step up and help moms around the house and shit. So, I kind of jumped off the porch a little early, man. Mom Dukes gave me a lot of lane, she gave me a long leash to explore. Yeah. But when I went too far, she pulled it back like, nah, you don't do this. This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
So you have to grow up early.
Yeah. My mom always guided me, and my pops always guided me over the phone. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no respect for niggas that like, yo, my pops know I'm in jail, so I can't be a parent. That is a lie. Yeah. My pops was a father in jails, man, like over the phone. Yeah. This is what you do, this is how you do it. If I'm fucking up in school, I'm gonna fuck you up when I get home, knowing he ain't gonna be home till, man, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, man, just being there, like being a father, being there.
Can I smoke?
Yeah, for sure.
A square?
So,
no, not a
you want to smoke a square? Always want to smoke a square.
Always when niggas switch up on you, man.
No squares, no mid.
No squares, no mid.
That bullshit we
did. Fucking fire that blunt, man.
You feel me?
But yeah, man. So I jumped up the porch early, man. But I had a strong support system, keeping me grounded and keeping me focused on the path on where I need to be as a man. You know, my mom did her best. I still had my pops, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I had aunts and uncles that showed me how to do this thing. So yeah, I jumped out the porch a little early, man. You know, not by choice, but you know, certain circumstances put me in that position where I had to jump off the porch a little early.
Word, no, I can dig it. And your pops had to be a real one to be able to instill that fear from behind the wall. Like,
listen, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Niggas want to be like Mike and shit. I want to be like my pops. Word. My pops played ball and he had a wicked jump shot and he sold crack rock. So you know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to be like my pops, man. Every time I pull up in the hood, pops would pull out a knot of money, go to the store. Pops had mad cars, jewelry, all type of shit. Yeah. And I just want to be, damn, I ain't know what he was doing at the time to get all this shit, but I was like, yo, I want to be like my dad. Yeah. I ain't want to be like nobody else. And to this day, I still want to be like my dad. Word. My dad's a hard working dude, man. He get up every morning and go to work, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He still has like that hustle mentality in him, but from a legal aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's what's up. Mm-hmm. You said critical thinking looks demonic when you're stunted in your faith. Can you elaborate on that?
The dogmatic principles of Christianity, like the things that create ceilings and parameters around thought and what you allowed to question and what you aren't allowed to question, will create some sort of like restriction to new information. So if I start, you know, the Bible is full of like things that contradict itself, but each one is but it's a collection of books, and it's also a collection of perspectives. So your perspective might differ from mine around the same thing, and it could be seen as a contradiction if we try to sell it as the same thing. So I think the thing is like, anytime you start questioning things, the first thing was like, that's the devil tempting you, or oh, that's demonic. You know, anything that look different. You know, they call autism a demonic spirit. They call homosexuality a demonic spirit. All these things are just people that are different from the norm. You You know, I'm the norm, and then honestly, we live in America, and the norm is a straight white man. So automatically, we different. You know what I'm saying? So anything we do that differ outside of what we consider standard blackness is seen as like othered and ostracized. But anytime you go outside the values and the principles that are taught to you in church, they always try to put like a spirit on you or like demonize that thought. So critically thinking about things where you asking questions, and that's like really what critical thought break down to is like, I'm gonna ask questions because I wanna know more.
Right.
I wanna shift in perspective. Or I view this differently from you, or I view it differently than how it was taught to me based on life experience and based on like actually thinking about this shit. And so people are stunted in their faith where they don't wanna go beyond the parameters of what's deemed safe for them to think. Right. It's dogmatic, you know what I'm saying? This is what that is, this is what that is, this is what that is. And if you think other, then you're being tempted by the devil.
Yeah.
So so it will seem demonic to people when I don't align with their way of thinking because they're fearful of their thoughts.
Yeah.
And us being like, we are like living, breathing organisms, bruh. You know what I'm saying? If we don't trust our brains and the processing power of our brain and our brain's ability to break down problems, then we in a tough spot.
Yeah.
And this is how people end up in cults, and this is how people are able to like use and utilize Christianity effectively as a cult in some cases to like control people. And you know, I just don't want to be controlled. I don't respect authority like that. Outside of the authority, I do respect.
Yeah.
You know, implied authority, I just don't fuck with it. No. And so I never looked at the preacher as somebody to aspire to be. I always looked at them as a messenger or carrier of information. And when they start power tripping and getting a little too in their ego, which happens quite often, when they go to abusing children and women, which happens quite often, I just can't respect it as in general. And also like when you seem to be a little bit more financially free than the congregation, yet the congregation can't ask you for help, yet you can ask them for their hard-earned money every week. I just can't fuck with that. You know what I mean?
And and it seems like a lot of like devout Christian type of people, like what you're saying, they're so stuck in like what's been taught to them or what's in that book that it's like just believe this and don't have any other thoughts or questions about what this is. And
it's the easy way out though.
Yeah.
And the thing about it being the easy way out is like it stunts you.
Yeah, for sure.
It stunts you, you know what I'm saying? So
that's why we were enslaved, because they were manipulating us into believing that some of these words, they were manipulating some of the words in the Bible to make us think that this is how life is supposed to be.
Yeah. Slaves obey your masters. You store your riches up in heaven. All these different things, right? And I think also, when we start looking at people that want to think outside of the word, so to speak, because they're living in the world, you also get people that don't want to participate in politics. They don't want to participate in their local politics. They don't want to participate in their community for real, because now you get this whole thing of being in the world but not of the world. So like, you know, it can get tricky, but also it's a way for people to just turn their brain off and go on autopilot. Yeah. I don't want to have to think. You know what I mean? Like ignorance really is bliss sometimes. Mm-hmm. And like, I've asked myself sometimes like, damn, would it have been better just not to know shit?
For a lot of people thrive off of just not knowing shit or really trying to like keep a blind eye to certain things, because if you don't know, then you aren't, you don't have that responsibility. Right. That comes with knowing.
God take care of babies and fools, and a lot of people try to remain as foolish as possible so they can be taken care of. And I think for me, it's like, yeah, I'm willing to take the risk on what's on the other side of that door. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or what's down that dark path. Yeah. But I think I also understand why it's scary for people, because you can become very cynical. You can become very nihilistic when you know more about the world. And it take a little while for your brain to catch up to how like catastrophic this world can be. And we weren't built to process this much information at once. This is all very new, you know what I'm saying? So like taking in this much information daily, this much stimulation daily, it ain't technically normal, you know what I'm saying? So it's also a thing that we're adjusting to as well. And, you know, as I adjust to, you know, how I discipline myself from like receiving information, I also got to be mindful of how I present information as well. So I think I'm very thoughtful with how I present ideas, and the fact that you don't hear it because you heard Jesus and you shut everything else off.
Right.
Well, then I'm gonna come back the next week and wear the devil mask.
And that was crazy when you had the suit on with the devil mask with the horns and all that. That was,
It was a great time, man. We had fun with
Had
it.
fun with that one.
Right. What else? Well, no. Before I ask this, what would you guys say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned to date? You know, through all your experiences.
I would say just remain humble. Always do what you have to do like you want to do it. You know, sometimes you don't want to have to do that, but you got to do it. Have the mindset, I got to do this like I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Stay loyal. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stay loyal and stay down and do what you got to do for your friend. Even if, you know, you don't get the spotlight, shit, he in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So he in the spotlight now, he dragging me in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't ask for none of this. You know, he asked me to come work a camera. Yeah. And now look where we at now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest lesson I learned.
Jordan and Pippen.
For sure.
Curry and Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Stockton and Malone.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
We ain't doing Malone. I ain't
doing no Malone. No Malone. You know? I think for me, you know, it's actually been something that I've learned fairly recently, is that perfection begins at inception. So this idea of perfection is rooted in the beginning. If you haven't been perfect since the beginning, it's not when you decide to be perfect. It's literally the game that you playing. So like if I miss every shot in the first quarter and I made every shot second, third, and fourth, you still weren't perfect. So you can say, oh, it's perfect in the third quarter, but that's not the game, nigga. Right. That's just one quarter. Right. So I think for me, I'm very controlling in some aspects, especially around this thing. I want to know what everything is, how everything goes. I want to look everybody in the face and tell them what I want. But I also have to be trusting that people can do their jobs and be able to delegate responsibilities. I also have to understand that I can't do everything, and everything's not meant for me to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, the biggest lesson that I've learned, especially this year, is how to release responsibility and relinquish control over things, and trust that like there are other people out here who are just as passionate as me, who are just as smart as me, who have the know-how just as I do, and as long as I share them what my vision is, they can execute and make that shit come true. Even with Big Cat, like Big Cat, seeing how like I was working heavy, like I'm every day trying to do something, and one day we got this music show, New Music Mondays, that we do, Grits and Eggs Radio, and I was just like, man, I don't feel like doing it. He was like, man, just let me do it. And it's like, for one, I'm shocked because that ain't his bag, you know, being in front of the camera. But for two, it's like, hell yeah, you do that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, it was like, I know he would do an amazing job. Like, he got a great radio voice. And then also, like, he knows just as much, if not more, about music than me. This motherfucker bag go deep. So it's like, okay, hell yeah, I could be the B mic, and I ain't gonna be on camera, and I could just chill, and I ain't gotta worry about how I look, and I ain't gotta wear no shoes, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So I think too, it was like, that was a exercise in trust. And I think exercising, you know, relinquishing control is not mean you out of control.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's one of the strongest, I feel like, mindsets that a leader can have, is that you don't have to be in front all of the time. And empowering your team is, you know, one of the most important things, and making sure that your team knows how valuable they are and being able to put other people in position, you know, to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's dope. You know, you guys are able to work in that way and both, you know, have the humility that you're able to have as you've gained so much popularity being so front facing on the podcast, but then you can allow him to then take the front facing role, and then you can be in the producer mode.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, it's so many roles that you could play in this thing. Also, too, like for anything, like it's not it's not like, you know, I want to say that I owe him a debt. You know what I'm saying, of gratitude. But also, like, to me, it's like I want to see him win. And the more position that I get to win, the more I can see opportunities for him to win.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, most niggas would just have did the Breakfast Club dolo. If I just told him, like, yeah, I'm going to go up here and do this thing, he would have been like, cool. I just sit in the back. But it's important for me in situations like that to pull him in, you know what I mean? Yeah. And, like, even with this situation, like, we fuck with your show, bro. Like, we've been watching this shit for years.
Right.
And so I think for me, it was like, now that we getting into more rooms and the spotlight is a lot brighter, that's what he's saying. Like, I'm dragging him into that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I want his face to be just as recognizable as mine,
Yes,
so that opportunities can come. Because that's how the opportunities come. People need familiarity.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, there's always going to be things that are just for me, and there's going to be situations that are just for him. Yeah. And anytime I can create something that's for us, I'm always going to take the opportunity to do that. That's why, like, I always shout out my team, like Tristan, who do the editing. For all the videos, like, without him, there is no consistency of this. And the consistency is really what took us out of there. Because before I was editing everything myself, and it didn't look great, but it was, you know, we could work with it.
Yeah.
You know, we could work with it, you know what I'm saying? But I think having somebody that could edit it and create our own aesthetics, and the output is crazy. Shout out to Suki as well. Suki creates all the characters. Suki creates all of our fonts. She does all our merch. She runs our website. These are all people that was with me before anybody was talking about the Grits and Eggs podcast. And I think it's important for me to include those people in these conversations. You know what I mean? Because I truly know, like, yeah, without them, it is just me making TikTok videos. I'm gonna just keep it real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I knew I had something bigger than just making TikTok videos. I knew that it was meant for me to spearhead some of these conversations. You know what I mean?
Nah, teamwork makes the dream work.
Make the dream work every time.
What you guys working on that you can speak on and, you know, have coming up that you're excited about?
We coming everywhere. Okay? 2026. Have your city, when we announce them tour dates, just go ahead and pin it. You know our shit sell out pretty fast. But we want to see everybody there. That's the biggest thing for 2026 is partnerships that can expand and grow the brand while we create, while we still own our IP and, you know, maintain ownership of our shit. I think that's a very apparent forward-facing conversation that we have with these companies when they want to come and do business with us. And I think touring.
Wow.
We need to go out. I want to go out and see the people, man. I love that shit, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. You know, I love doing the show. The show is the baby, it's the bread and the butter. It ain't nothing like going out there and seeing them people in real life and being able to, you know, we figured the show out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I would say New York is where I solidified. He even just said this. New York is where I knew we could do this live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's still a unique experience. It's different from the podcast, but we've created our own, you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, man, that's the most exciting I'm thinking about. Like traveling, going to see these people, you know, all the opportunities that are gonna come, and having the right team around me as far as like management to help make it happen. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get us some money, but we're gonna do right with the bread, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
I think, honestly, you know, we just warming up too. Like, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
We just warming up, bro.
Everything he just said, plus Grits and Eggs Radio,
Word.
New Music Mondays, hosted by Big Cat.
Yes, sir.
Every Monday. Check it out. We got some new artists, some hot artists coming in, Freestyle Fridays. We got a lot of things, man. So if you are an artist and you want to submit to nmm@deantecal.com, we'll review your music. We'll play it for producers, artists. They'll get to review your music. And it's a good time, man. It's a good show.
Yeah, we just had 808 Mafia on there. They was reviewing y'all music.
Yeah.
We just had the young man Marco Plus on there. We did the interview, and he reviewed y'all music, and he is the first iteration of our rap session, which is our version of Freestyle Fridays that'll drop every other Friday, 2026.
Word.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We touching shit.
Got
you
some
know what I
things
mean?
in motion. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all got any shout outs y'all want to give?
Man, shout out to Deanna. Shout out to Kyron, Cohen, and Emery. They're my kids, and that's their mom.
Word.
Shout out to my mom, my pops, my son. Shout out to my little brother. He a fire recruit right now for the city of Atlanta. He training, doing his thing. So proud of him, super proud of him. Shout out to my whole family, man. Everybody.
Shout out to this nigga for holding me down too, man.
Shout out to my man, sir. You know what I mean? For real.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Well, yo, Deante Kyle, Big Cat, Grits and Eggs Podcast. Appreciate y'all pulling up, jumping off the porch with us.
Thank you.
We in there.
Money to my pockets, more bit. Remember living in apartments, now we playing mortgage. You ain't gotta like a nigga regardless, baby, I'm